Bonjour à tous and welcome to day 13, the last day of Joy in Paris. This morning we had a meeting in one of the hotel's many conference rooms, during which we worked on our blog posts, and then we went on a walk to find some presents for our professor and our guides. The card we got for our professor was a little puzzle of Paris, and he put it together right then and there and was so proud of himself. The restaurant that we went to was called Le Tête à Toto, which is named after a cute little children's game that French children play. And so the restaurant was decorated like a school classroom. After lunch, we headed out on our final walking tour of the trip, which focused on street art and the graffiti culture in Paris. We saw so many beautiful, huge murals on the sides of buildings, and it was clear that each of the artists had their own style and message they wanted to share with the world. Our guide Hugo is actually a graffiti artist, and we found one of his stickers on a Paris pole. After seeing all of that beautiful street art, it was time to create our own. And so we went to a graffiti store where we picked up some spray paint and other supplies. After picking up supplies, we headed to a back alleyway that was filled with graffiti, and we were ready to make our own mark on Paris. In that back alley, they had prepared 2 walls for us to decorate, complete with outlines, and all we had to do was fill it in like a coloring book. We geared up to avoid getting paint on our clothes, and we promised this guy we wouldn't paint his dog. Of course, we thought the whole thing was so cool, so we had to take so many photos and videos of us looking like professional graffiti artists. And then Hugo and Yon taught us the basics of how to use spray paint. This included how to make clean lines, but also get different textures based on how far your paint is from the wall. And the coolest part was we learned how to make gradients with the spray paint. After a brief tutorial, we were let loose on the walls. It definitely took a little bit of experimenting with the spray paint to get the textures right, but everyone had a lot of fun. Here's me filling in one of the stars on my wall. But first, I'll let Hugo and Yon introduce themselves.
Moi c'est Youn, je suis graffeur, artiste graffeur. J'ai commencé vers 95 à faire beaucoup de tags dans le métro, dans la rue. Et après j'ai eu une amende avec la police, je me suis fait attraper. Donc j'ai dû arrêter, je me suis calmé. Et je me suis mis à faire plus graffiti couleur, où je prends plus de temps, où c'est un peu plus, plus propre et un peu plus légal. Voilà.
Bonjour à tous. Je m'appelle Hugo Fèvre et je suis le fondateur de l'agence Background Paris, qui est une agence artistique et événementielle à Paris spécialisée dans le graffiti. Donc on fait des ateliers d'initiation, des rencontres avec les artistes, des team building, de la décoration, on fait des vêtements aussi. Donc toujours autour du graffiti avec une équipe d'une vingtaine d'artistes dont Yon fait partie. Et voilà, on accueille aujourd'hui des étudiants du MIT, on est super heureux.
We continued decorating the walls with our own colors and patterns, and we even tagged it with our Instagram account. And after we finished, Yon did some professional looking outlining, which really brought the entire wall together and made our messy coloring look beautiful. Watching Yon add this outlining and later the highlights was so satisfying. After everything was finished, we took off all of our protective bunny suits, and of course we had to take pictures with our artwork. Then we rushed back to our hotel to get changed for our final event of the program, which was a dinner cruise on the Seine. Then we headed down to the docks and onto our boat for the evening. The dinner was absolutely amazing. We had a 5-course meal with wine pairings. We started off with some rosé champagne that was so bubbly. And the golden hour sunlight made this moment so beautiful. Sitting next to me is our wonderful tour guide, Emily. The boat even had live music, and it was such a vibe. Here she's singing Les Champs-Élysées, which is one of my favorite jazzy French songs. On the cruise, we passed by many famous Paris landmarks such as Notre Dame and the Musée d'Orsay. The food did not disappoint as well. Here's my appetizer paired with a glass of white wine. Then our main course was paired with a red, right around the time of our main course was when the sunset began, and it was so surreal to watch the Parisian sunset on the river. After our main course, we had a cheese course. I forgot the names of the cheese, but they were all super delicious. And the sunset only got more beautiful from here. It made all the buildings look like they were glowing. Finally, we finished the dinner with more champagne and dessert, of course. By then, we had all had a lot of wine and the music was going, so we were all having so much fun. one last glass of wine, and that was it for the boat cruise. Then we watched the Eiffel Tower sparkle a second time before it was time to say goodbye to Bruno and our guides. And that's it for season 1 of Joy in Paris. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be back soon for a season 2. So à bientôt, or see you soon.